Sup y'all, it's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today I want to show you guys everything that you need to know about the new Chromie Scenario which was added in patch 7.2.5. If you want to take advantage of this, you have to go to the new Dalaran, talk to Khadgar, he's going to give you a quest, and that quest is going to lead you over to Dragonblight Wormrest Temple. You're going to talk to Chromie, who's like the Bronze Drake ambassador, and she's in a pretty simple predicament. She's going into the future, and she's found out that she's going to die in the future, and so she has to go into the past, but it's still in the future, to prevent herself from dying farther into the future. I hate time travel. Anyway, so the way this works is that Chromie is going to port you into a scenario which is pretty much just an instance version of Dragonblights. What you need to do is you need to, in order to get the entire transmog set of gear, you need to complete all 4 of the shrines, and then all 4 of the Dragonshrines, and then all 4 of the portals. Now, whenever you do this for your first time, you're just unlocking the portals. So you want to go through your first time and go to all of the shrines, unlock all of the portals, then restart the instance. And so this whole guide is going to be kind of predicated on the fact that you've already unlocked all the portals and you have at least 2 or 3 of the different unlocks for the Chromie I guess like Order Hall research pane unlocked. As you guys will see in just a minute, you can pick one thing or another thing. As a DPS warrior, I went 2-2-2, which was all 3 of them on the right, and I haven't finished the rest, and I was still able to complete this within the time limit. Now, you only have 15 minutes, and as soon as you begin this, you probably will think this is impossible, but you have to complete all 4 of the Dragonshrines, and then also on top of that, all 4 of the portals within the 15 minutes. And it's insane. You have to be going very, very fast, but there are some positive things about this. This is not a gear check, really. You are automatically scaled up to level 112, and your item level is automatically scaled up to item level 1000. So that means that this is not necessarily gear dependent. However, if you have gear that has a tertiary stat on it, that tertiary stat also gets scaled up, and it helps you move a lot faster if you have a full speed set like I do. So I'm moving along, and I'm saving a ton of time because I have all this fast gear, and at the same time, it's all scaled up, so it's just the same as my Mythic Nighthold gear, despite, of course, the stat allocation. So I would recommend using gear with either Leech or speed on it if you want to make this go even faster. But the legendaries work, I think your artifact weapon works, all of that other stuff works. The old legendaries I do not believe do work, unfortunately. So anyway, as soon as you zone in, what's going to happen, I'll go ahead and start playing this and we'll go through it. I'm going to show you guys the optimum route to go through this and everything else in between. You're pretty much going to be looting and going through a certain different pathway that I've kind of worked out, and then I'm pretty sure a lot of other people have worked out. Other people showed me this. I've iterated on a little bit, but this is pretty much what to expect. So you talk to Chromie here, and you say, I'm ready, let's begin, and let's save your life. So we're going to start at Wormrest Temple. We're going to go down, and the black circles are the rare spawn mobs that we're all going to kill. We're going to kill 5 of them. Then we're going to go to the Emerald Dragon Shrine, and then we're going to go to the Azure Dragon Shrine, then the Ruby Dragon Shrine, then the Obsidian Dragon Shrine. There are also little treasure chests that you need to pick up along the way, and I'll explain where those are at as we go through this. So as you can see, I just started up the scenario, and one of the different NPCs here will have a quest for you. It doesn't matter which one, it all pretty much means the same thing. Now also, whenever you kill any mob or a boss or loot a chest, you get a thing called Sands of Time. Now Sands of Time give you a number of different buffs, but the most important buffs are getting the Time Loss Keepsake box, the Bronze Drake, and then Stolen Time, and then a damage and health buff in that order. The Lost Keepsake box pretty much makes one of the portals a lot easier. The Bronze Drake kills one of the NPCs at the Dragonshrines, and of course the damage and healing things do their own thing as well. But first we're going to fly down, we're going to kill Ice Shatter. I immediately got one of the Sands of Time, and I clicked on the survivability thing. You can either get Rep 2, you don't really need that, however, especially whenever you're going for it for your first time. If you're just trying to get this done, don't worry about Rep, don't worry about the treasure, don't worry about any of that unless it's the Time Loss Keepsake box. So as you can see here, I'm clicking Stolen Time, which extends your duration of your buff, and I went and I clicked that treasure chest, which is right underneath the, that little statue there. I come over here and I aggro the first boss, and I immediately AoE down the ads and I burn him down. He casts a number of different abilities. He's cast Sleep, which you need to interrupt, Dark Interruption, what you need to get out of, and also whenever he melees you, he puts a debuff on you that's a dot and it does a lot of damage. Nightmare Bolt is also pretty much interruptible. This guy is probably the most difficult one to deal with because you're not really buffed up with a lot of the other stuff that you will have later on in the fight. So you want to use as many buffs as possible. Each different area has 2 treasure chests in defined locations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlay a picture of where the other treasure chest is going to be in this in each shrine. Each shrine has a possibility of having, I think, 2 treasure chests spawn, one or the other. I'm 99% sure that both of them cannot spawn at the same time. So after you kill him, make sure you use all your cooldowns on him and survive through him. You're going to fly down to your Dragonshrine. That's where the first chest was going to be, right down there. There's going to be 2 little NPCs guarding it, like kind of channeling into it. But since the treasure chest wasn't there, I went forward and I went to this little portal here, or a little disc actually, and I clicked on the treasure chest, which unlocked another Sands of Time. I then went back over to this little platform, and this is where the second mini-boss is going to spawn. Now this mini-boss does 2 different things. For one, he casts Void Bolt, which is a very fast cast, which can be interrupted, and he also casts a buff that puts a void zone underneath where your character is, and it's exactly where your character is going to be. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be moving out and then dropping the void zones on the outside of the platform. That way I don't run out of space whenever I'm fighting this guy. Now, obviously, I might not really have to do that, but it makes it a lot easier, and it makes it a little bit less stressful, especially at the end whenever you want to finish off the kill. I'm not really going to refresh and use cooldowns again on this boss, because right after I kill him, I'm going to be going and killing the second rare spawn. Now, these Magmatar rare spawns have a few little things you have to watch out for. The first one, there's like he does like an AoE underneath him, and so you want to kill him very fast. If you don't, the AoE is going to stack up on you, the dot's going to stack up on you, and it will probably kill you if it gets past like 5 or 6 stacks. So you want to make sure that doesn't happen. Now, as soon as I kill him, I got another Sands of Time. I click movement speed. Again, you're never clicking rep. You're never clicking any of that other stuff. You just want to go with, stolen time, or you want to go with the keepsake box in that order: keepsake box, bronze drake, stolen time, or a damage or healing or movement speed buff. Blood Feast summons maggots, and so that's cool. And as you guys can see, I got a bronze drake, and you can kill him. He's the easiest of all of them. And this one, obviously, it killed the boss at the Ruby Dragonshrine, so I no longer have to kill that boss. I'm running back over here to Bone Sunder, who's right next to Wormrest Temple. I'm going to kill him. Bone Crack, he casts that in melee. Just move out of that. The reason you want to move out of that is because that applies a debuff to you that makes you take 100% extra physical damage, and you don't want to have that happen because it could accidentally kill you. If you die in this, you will probably wipe. Now, you can get multiple bronze drakes, and you can also get multiple keepsake boxes, which makes this relatively RNG. So if you get very lucky, this scenario is very easy, and if you don't get lucky at all, this scenario is very hard. As soon as I killed that guy, I move over to Drangar Runebrand. This guy's very easy. He puts runes on the ground. It's a Runebrand. And you want to make sure that you don't stand in those. Here, I got a Time Lost keepsake box, and this box has a random different thing. And the first little... that's where the treasure chest could be, right under that little claw, and it's right next to the entrance inside to where the mini-boss is. Mini-boss does basically nothing, so don't worry about him at all. I'm glad actually he got skipped, because there's nothing you need to know about him, except for make sure you fly right by that area, make sure a treasure chest is under there. It's going to be guarded by 3 mobs, but since that wasn't there, I went over to this treasure chest on the other side, and I looted that one, which didn't really give me anything important, and I got these Cenarian War documents, Cenarian Circle documents, which pretty much completely invalidates one of the different scenarios, although it's actually a very efficient scenario in terms of buffs. So as soon as I've got that treasure chest, I'm going over to the Obsidian Dragonshrine to kill the last guy. Ideally, you want to have a Bronze Drake kill the Obsidian Dragonshrine, because that's the farthest away. But I didn't get that, and I was still fine. So we're going to go ahead and kill Ice Fist here. Ice Fist does nothing that you can really avoid, so don't worry about that either. Now, the treasure chests inside the Obsidian Dragonshrine are not something you need to worry about. Many of them are actually inside the cave, so I'm not going to recommend for you to do any of that stuff. Don't worry about those chests at all, unless you see one outside, which, as far as I know, none of them exist. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, though. Fly down here, and Chromie is going to reveal the Dreadlord. Now, the Dreadlord casts 3 different abilities. He casts the first ability, which is Carrion Swarm. Face that away from Chromie, or not, it doesn't really matter. And then after he finishes casting Carrion Swarm, he's going to cast Infernal Impact. Is that what it's called? It's Infernal something. Infernal Strike. So you want to interrupt Infernal Strike with any sort of stun or fear as you can, and as soon as you interrupt that, he immediately goes and he casts, Enfeeble or Curse or some sort of slow ability, and you want to interrupt that with your interrupt ability. So you do those abilities, and you always cast them in that same rotation. You basically kill him, and then you fly up in the air, you get off your mount, and you die. Now, why do you do that? Because dying and resurrecting at the Dragonshrine is faster than walking all the way over. So you turn in the quest, and then you're going to go to one of different 4 portals. Now, I'm going to show you guys my best iteration of each portal, and Then we're going to look, and you don't need to be looking at these. I was trying something else. You want to be basically sitting next to Chromie, immediately aggro these mobs. This is the Hyjal Portal. And what you do here is you're going to have to fight different waves of these mobs. Now, the Searing Overlord and the Infernal Hounds knock you back, and the Searing Overlord doesn't really do anything that's substantial or important. Now, I chose to save my cooldowns for the second wave because the second wave has mobs that cast a Reflect Shield, and I figured that would be more deadly for my character than just getting knocked back. And as soon as the second wave spawns, it's the Searing Pyrolords. I immediately cast all my cooldowns, kill them before they cast a Reflective Shield, and then I kill the Searing Overlord. Now, after these two waves die, you're going to have a mini-boss, and the Firelord here does basically nothing. He summons ads, and ads are of little of no importance. Again, your damage is kind of scaled up, or everybody's scaled to the same level. So if you're having trouble killing these mobs, you probably should change your spec, figure out what you can do better, use a flask, use a potion, use something else like that. It's not really something that you can outgear, as I said. And after you kill the Firelord, you're going to have all these birds spawn. Now, the birds don't really move around unless you hit them because they're channeling into Chromie, which makes it easier to take less damage, but it also makes it harder to kill them because they're spread out, especially as a melee. So I ran around and I hit all of them, and that allowed me to group them up enough to where I could hit them all with Odin's Fury. I popped all my cooldowns on those, which is why I didn't use it on the first mini-boss, and then I killed all of them at the same time because they do a lot of damage whenever they're all casting on me. Now, whenever I went over to the Fiery Behemoth, he only casts one ability. He casts Fire Nova. You don't want to get hit by Fire Nova, but I did anyway, and it doesn't matter. So pretty much avoid Fire Nova. You don't want to stand in the volcanoes. I think it's really just a knockback. It doesn't really matter, but I mean, why would you stand in the volcano anyway? And you just damage down the Fiery Behemoth, and that's pretty much it. All of the other mobs in the area can give you Sands of Time. Anything that you loot will give you a Sands of Time. That's completely awesome, but at the same time, it's definitely not efficient unless you're killing mobs that have a 100% chance to guarantee it, like the mobs that I showed at the beginning. Now we're going to look at the second portal scenario, which is going to be Strathlome. This is the longest scenario, so if you do get the keepsake box that allows you to unlock the market gate, what you're going to do is you go straight forward and you go to the left and you just click the gate and you're able to go directly to the last boss. That saves a ton of time, but obviously you can't always plan for that happening. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to him, and again, the first time you do this, you have to kind of go through all of these quests, so make sure you go through this at least once, and then after you've completed all of the scenarios, all of the portals at least once, then go in here and actually try to complete the actual thing within the time limit. Go inside here, and we're going to be buying all of the different quest items all at the same time so we can run back and forth and turn them all in. I just bought that one, now I'm going to go buy the gun, and now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to buy, I think there's like one item in here as well. All of the other items are not important, so make sure that you have bag space for all of these items here. Now, whenever I talk to this guy, as you can see, there are 2 beef jerkies that I need, so I'm going to buy both beef jerkies and not just one. Make sure you buy both, as well as the other items, so you're going to be buying 3 total items from that guy. Now, after you pick up all of the items there, let's see, it is 6 total items. After you buy all 6 total items, you're going to turn back around, and you're going to go over to Fry a Stabby, and he's going to sell you the last 2 items that you're going to need. This is going to allow you to run back and forth and turn in all of the quests without having to go back and forth around Strathlome, and it's just going to save you a ton of time. Strathlome is the major, like, really big time sink. It's probably the safest of the scenarios, like, you're the least likely to die in this one, but it's also the longest. So if you get the key for this, you're probably going to be saving yourself about 3 minutes of just pure walking time. And also keep in mind that I have my speed set on, which gives me 170% movement speed on top of the buffs that I'm already going to be getting from the Chromie scenario. So I'm moving faster than a mount without having to mount up and off. And so it really saves a lot of time. So as soon as I go and I talk to her, I'm going to stay here, make sure I turn this in, and then she runs back inside. I get another scans of time. I'm going to go ahead and just get extra time so I can do this as long as I can. Usually getting extra time is the first thing that you want to get. Unless you're getting the keepsake box, the one on the right is usually the one you want to go with, as a general rule. You can get the boxes or the bags, and actually I'll talk about that later, but as soon as you turn in all of those, you can get the key of the city. The zombies are going to spawn. Be like very close to your right so you don't actually aggro the extra mobs there. There's no reason to, the spectral seeds. Go through here, aggro all of the zombies. You need to make sure you kill them all or Chromie's going to start attacking them and it's going to waste a lot of time. I'm going to aggro all of those up. I went and I opened the door, and now I'm going to turn around. I'm going to pop cooldowns and burn down all the ghouls, kill them, kill the zombie, and then run forward. Now at this point, I'm pretty much going through here as fast as possible. There are going to be no other elites that I'm going to need to deal with by the time that my cooldowns come up, so I was safe to use them at the beginning there, only killing 2 of those very, very easy to kill elites. So I'm going to go up here, and at this point it kind of is annoying because you have to wait for Chromie to open a door. So I'll take this time to explain the way that the bags work. The bags can drop 2 different pets. Both of the pets sell for a lot of money. That's actually pretty much it. If you want to do this for gold, and you can also get gold out of the bags as well. If you want to do this for gold, it's definitely a possibility, but I don't really know how well you're going to be able to do in terms of gold per hour out of this. Maybe I can try it later on. So Chromie goes ahead and open the door, and then you're going to come down here. This is kind of like, this is where you really want to save time. So I'm going to be doing this in 3 different pulls. 2 pulls on the zombies, and then 1 pull on the boss. So I'm going to aggro all of the zombies up here, and you have 3 different mobs that you're dealing with. You're dealing with the Risen Zombies, you're dealing with the Dark Necromancers, which cast Shadow Bolt, and you're also dealing with the Bile Golems. None of them really have any significance or importance. You just want to make sure that you kill them quickly, and you can also kite around in a circle and kill them too. Bile Golems do a lot of damage, and also make sure you save your cooldowns. If you're going to use your cooldowns, use them on the first set, not the second set, so they'll be up by the time the boss is up, and then you use the second set for anything else and just make it take a little bit longer and maybe take it a little bit slower. I would recommend that, and that's what I did personally. So I killed all of those. I killed the Bile Golem and everything else. So this is the really annoying pull for me. So I'm going to try and go ahead and just aggro everything here, damage it all down, whirlwinding it all down, and aggroing those other zombies, and I'm trying to group it all up so I can whirlwind it. I'm going to keep piercing hell, and I'm going to be kiting everything in kind of a circle in a way. And so I'm going to be damaging down these necromancers. Now, I really didn't do very well on this pull here. There have been a lot of better pulls that I've had, but as you guys can see, I'm not going to die, so I guess it's not really all that bad. I should have used Rampage way long time ago. So I'm pretty much spinning to win here, killing the Dark Necromancers, killing the Bile Golems. Bile Golems, of course, do more damage, so you want to kite them while you're damaging the Necromancers at range. And so as a range, obviously melee and range each have their own advantages and disadvantages to this, so I can't say individual class strategies. This is just what's worked for me. For whatever reason, the ads didn't spawn with this guy, but if they do, you want to make sure that you pop a big AoE cooldown, kill all of the ads, then burn down the boss. I don't know if they hotfix this or what, but before I would save Odin's Fury and Battlecry, and I would just one-shot all of the ads and then pop everything else and kill the boss. The boss here does a pretty good amount of damage, but he also doesn't have that much health, so you want to kill him as quickly as possible. Go ahead and click on the little cobweb there. It's going to unlock Chromie, and then you will go back and you start the Andorhal scenario. Now, the Andorhal scenario, you want to talk to Chromie right there. She's going to give you a quest. It's going to give you a guaranteed stance of time. What you need to do here is kill 2 specific NPCs, as well as 7 of the captains, the war captains. There's a, what do you call it? There's a cannon that you have to destroy, and you need 2 items to make the cannon vulnerable to damage, and then also each war captain drops a bomb that you can throw at the cannon that does 15% of the cannon's total health. The cannon has 333 million health, so it's more effective to kill the captains than to kill the cannon itself. So you need 7 of those captains to kill that, because 15 times 7 is 105%. And it's actually faster probably to kill the captains, especially in the way that I do. So I'm going to be doing 3 captains, then the first mini-boss, then 3 more captains, then a second mini-boss with 1 captain. So as you guys can see, I went over to the engineer that's right here. She casts an ability called Overcharge. You just interrupt that, and then she also casts an AoE knockback, which isn't really that important. It probably won't kill you, but you also probably don't really need to get hit by it, but I will, and you guys will see how much damage it does. Not a lot, so don't worry about it too much. It still don't have to get hit by it. You just got your first thing, the Lightning Absorption Capsule, and also 2 Sands of Time. This is probably the most Sands of Time that you're going to get from any area, so even if you do get the Andorhal, the Cenarian Circle documents, which allow you to completely bypass this scenario, it's not actually the most ideal one, even though it skips the most percentage of it. You're skipping the whole thing because of how many Sands of Time you get out of this, which increase your damage and healing, your movement speed, or also can allow you to bypass an entire other scenario. So here I'm going to go over to the Apothecary, and these are the 2 NPCs that you have to kill. So I'm going to be pulling the Apothecary with the War Captain. Apothecary casts 2 different abilities. She casts Volatile Vials. You have to move around. Obviously, there's a swirly on the ground, you move out of it. But, of course, I'm a warrior, so I don't have to, and I just stand on top of it. I got a lot of the different buffs of the damage reduction, so I didn't really need to kite around, and I felt like I'd use that to my advantage and focus entirely on being offensive. So I popped all my cooldowns, and they would be up after the first mini-boss, and then I was able to kill the captain right there, which is going to be my 7th of the military explosives, and also killing the Apothecary, which is going to give me my 2nd item, which is going to unlock and allow me to destroy the cannon. So as soon as I get both of those items, I go ahead and fly over there. And as you can see, I have the Experimental Alchemy, and I also put them on my hotbar. So if you have messy bags, make sure you know ahead of time where they're going to be so you don't waste any time. And make sure that you also use the 2 things that make the cannon vulnerable to damage first before you actually start using explosives, or it won't kill the cannon. I'm standing back here at range so I don't aggro the death guards and I don't actually just waste more time. I ended up getting exalted with Chromie there. It's really easy to get exalted with Chromie. Like, literally all you do is do it. Like that's it. You literally, how do you do it? You do it. It's just literally that simple. So anyway, the last one that we're going to be looking at is probably, it's not probably, it is literally like by far the biggest cock in the ass possible. But I'm going to show you guys how to do it, no problem. So I'm going to zone in here, and I'm not going to run in. I'm not going to go to the right like people say. I'm not going to go to the left like some people say. I'm going to wait, and I'm going to show you guys why. I get on my mount. Chromie on the mount does not become active and does not automatically attack mobs. I'm running through here. I'm just chilling. I'm just having a good time, just riding around, sightseeing. Well of Eternity. It's a nice place. So over here, there's that Felguard. I heroic leap through the wall so I don't actually come within the Felguard's range. And here, I don't fight these guys. I wait for him to pad away. And then I'm walking right in through the ear. I got aggro because there are these keen Felstalkers that are going to aggro onto you throughout this gauntlet. That's nothing that you can prevent. And I'm going to run all the way to the end. And where's the mobs? Where's the mobs? It's so easy. People giving all these strats. You got to interrupt and damage. You just don't. See? So you just kill the Felstalker. Okay, he's got 4 million health. You just run right through. Now, if you have the unpleasant, I guess, like, possibility of having to deal with one of these mobs, you're probably going to be really mad, just like I was. But you don't have to kill those 2 mobs in the back there. Don't worry about those 2 mobs at all. Go ahead and you want to go up this pathway, and this pathway is going to go all the way down. It's a one-way. I'm pretty sure you're not going to get lost. And you're going to come down to this courtyard, and the mobs that you have to deal with in the first gauntlet are really, really annoying. So try to make sure to wait for them to all pad away. You're probably going to save time in the long run. So here's the last boss that I deal with, and since I feel like the Well of Eternity one is the most difficult, I save that one for last so I have as many buffs as possible going into it, and also so I can potentially skip the gauntlet in case a mistake does happen. Gorlax does 2 different abilities. One of them matters, and the other one seems to not even work. I think if you get hit by the images of Dune, they kill you, but I ran right through one of them and it didn't kill me. So just make sure that you don't have it run through you, and it's probably not going to kill you, and even if it does, it probably won't kill you either way. I wanted to try and test it out again to see if it would work, but obviously it didn't. And so after you kill him, you're going to come all the way to the end here, wait for Chromie to actually spawn inside this portal, and she's going to go inside the portal. After she goes inside the portal, then you want to go and click the little portal gateway that you've used the entire time. You click on that, and that's actually going to end the scenario. So if you complete all of that within the time allotted, in that pathway, in that order, in that way, there's going to be no problem, man. Like, you're just going to go in here, you're just going to get it done. It's not going to matter. So that's what I did. I'm going to show you guys my gear real quick, and that's all you need to know about the Chromie scenario. That's how to do it in the best, most efficient way possible. You can probably do this with without maybe even having to use any of the stolen time if you're extremely efficient and also quite lucky. So again, guys, sometimes you might not get it because of luck, but sometimes you will. So anyway, if this helped you, let me know. If you have any other tips, let everybody know. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and like, comments, and subscribe.